and welcome back to the Hyperspace Podcast. My name is Sam, and today I'm joined by my lovely co-host, it's Mr. Michael Ghosh. Michael, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, just quite busy. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, mate, I am all good. Yeah, you're just finishing off your uni bits and pieces. Not long to go
Yeah,
now, mate. So
yeah.
just a few more stuff, and then we will be done. But today we are here for a Kenobi episode 2 breakdown. But first, we're going to start on a bit of a sad note because unfortunately, Star Wars have had to release a statement in solidarity with Moses Ingram, the actor who plays Reva in Kenobi, due to a torrent of racist abuse she has been receiving. I mean, Michael, just this is terrible, isn't it?
I think it's shocking that this has again happened in the Star Wars fan base, and it's just I think when I saw the post, I couldn't quite believe it, and then I saw some of the video from, I think it was a live stream or a story on Instagram, showing all of the messages he's been getting, and it's just, I mean, it's just not right. And I think even if you have an issue with a character or the way a character is written or acted, you should not attack actors personally, and certainly shouldn't resort to racism.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This is such a shame, and not the first time it's happened. We've had it with John Boyega. We've had it with Rose, the person who plays Rose in
Uh,
uh,
Kelly Marie Tran.
that's it, Chloe Marie Tran. She has got so much abuse, not just racist, but like just so much abuse over a character. And at the end of the day, you've got to realize that these people can only work with what they've been given. And that doesn't mean you need to be racist. That doesn't mean you need to fire massive abuse at them over something that they can't control, of the color of their skin. I just think for me it's crazy, and with like on this basis with Moses Ingram and Reva, her character, I think she's a really great character, and loads of people are being like, "Oh, she's annoying. You don't belong here. She is a tick box," and I just think it's plainly disgraceful, to be honest.
I mean, personally, I love the fact that we've got another Inquisitor. I think it's great. I think, it sort of, she stands out in the Inquisitors as a far more sort of reckless character, and I think, especially considering that they're meant to be these dark side followers, a reckless, impulsive character fits that, and we don't, and it's this gap that I think her character's filled. I mean, we haven't even seen that much of her. I think we're going to talk about Reva a bit more when we get into the breakdown of especially of this episode, and I'm sure we're going to see more of her. But I think we both, when we were watching this together, we really thought it was like, she's a cool character, and I think I think we both, especially as Clone Wars and then Rebels fans, love these like Inquisitor characters who are ex Jedi, and we're going to guess that Reva's ex Jedi as well.
Yeah, and I mean, racist abuse is never right, but even to criticize a character after just 2 episodes is just crazy. You don't know where her story is going to go. I just think it's very frustrating. But rant over, we just had to bring that up because it's a very big thing at the moment. Let's move on to why we're here, and that is the Kenobi episode 2 breakdown. This was a 41-minute episode which started with a recap of episode 1, and I'm assuming that every episode from now on will start with a recap of the episode before. And we start on the transport ship that Obi-Wan boarded at the end of episode 1, docks in Dayu, a new planet, which gave me Hong Kong vibes. I'm not sure what you thought of it, Michael. It's a planet we've never explored before.
It gave me some in, I don't know what planet it is, but in Rogue One, at the near the start when you meet Andor, it kind of reminded me of there.
Yeah.
It's sort of this sort of like dark neon lit city with these sort of like market stalls, and like it's quite busy. It's like bustling. People are like trying to make money. I feel like it get Hong Kong vibes. Maybe like like the like lower levels of Coruscant where it's a bit darker as well, because it's like only lit by all of the neon lights. So yeah, something like that. It kind of reminded me of also like uh Zero the Hutt's like club, like in the Clone Wars, which is a bit of a deep cut, but that sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, no, it certainly was. It's a planet full of not the most wealthy. It's lots of drugs, lots of all of this, but yeah, it looks like a cool planet. It'd be interesting if they explore it more, because I mean they do leave it at the end, but it'd be interesting if Dai is explored any more in the Star Wars universe. We have Kenobi calling out to Qui-Gon again before a homeless 501st clone asks if he can spare credits, played by Tamura Morrison. And after giving him credits, he's told to move on out of the way by stormtroopers. And I'm not sure about you, Michael, but the symbolism of the Empire discarding these clones once their purpose was filled, and to see the stormtroopers who replaced them just in the next shots was just very sad to see and very powerful, because we've loved we've loved these clone troopers in Clone Wars and other media, and to see them then on the street, I just thought was quite a powerful moment.
I mean, I think when we watched the Bad Batch, when we talked about it, that was quite a while ago. But I said it was heartbreaking for me just seeing all of them stripped with like visually, with their paints being completely gone off their armor, but also their personalities being completely stripped from them. And now they have basically the last thing they can have stripped from them, which is, I guess, their military service, and I guess that lifestyle. And I think it kind of gave me sort of the feeling of like Vietnam veterans when they came back from Vietnam, like the way that they just sort of discarded after the war because it isn't a popular war. It sort of gave me those kind of vibes, and I think maybe that's because I watched the episode with Pong Krell on oh God, what planet is that? Mbara, and that's very Vietnam War. Like that the whole fighting in that's very Vietnam War. So I sort of got those sort of vibes, and it's just heartbreaking because he fought for the Republic and it's now gone, and he's just discarded, and he sees his replacements just move them out of the way like he is, a piece of rubbish on the streets. I don't know. How did you find
Yeah, it certainly was powerful, and just yeah, it was sad to see. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it's the first time we've properly seen this. It's the first time that we've properly seen these clones that have been discarded. They're homeless. So I thought it was cool to see, but also quite sad. And of course, played by Tamura Morrison. This man will come back for anything. This man's love for Star Wars is just great. I mean, just seeing him, he might have a cameo just every episode, just because he loves coming back.
We keep hearing rumors that he's supposedly said that he would come back for a Cody or a Rex. Now, I think we've talked about it, and I'm skeptical he could play either of those characters, or it was. And I think now I'm far less skeptical whether he could do it or not. He won't have the same voice as Rex or Cody from the Clone Wars. Well, certainly Cody, he could play a bit more because he played him in the live action. But I think he could do Rex. I think we would. I don't know. At least I would love that. I don't know how you'd feel about having Tamura Morrison play Rex.
Yeah, it would be, as you said, not the same, because Bradley D. Cooper is just fantastic as that voice. He is such a he has this tone just to a T, and I'm not sure if it could be replicated. But just seeing this man on screen is just great. I was watching him at Star Wars Celebration, and the passion he had just talking about anything, about the character, about the fact that it was his idea to add the line like a bantha. Like it's just like
I love that.
it's
I
the
love him
fact
so
that
much.
the fact that that was his addition, and it's just such an icon. It's a meme at the end of the day, but it was
It's
such an
great.
iconic line. I do
He
love
did.
that
He
man.
did. He did all of the memes, and do you see he sang at the end?
Oh, that man! I actually have his
He's
album.
multi-talented. Yeah, it's good. It's actually really good.
He
So
is
do I.
very he is very multi-talented. He does actually have a good voice. I actually properly like his music.
I think.
Like
I
not even
think
as a
we.
meme.
I think we should campaign for a Clone Wars the musical, or a get him to get. They should make it write an original character for him instead of him playing Rex or Cody. Maybe he plays like this street performing down on his luck clone, and that is the show. And
That
how that clone joins the rebellion, and he sings all of the songs from his album.
well, the amount of outrage at the moment at every TV show that sells out to do a musical episode, I don't think it would go down very well.
Considering how Star Wars fans are every TV show, anyways, I don't think it
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, they could be the most popular character ever, and yeah, they'd still hate it. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, it is great to
it'd
see
be
him back
cool.
on the show. It would be cool. It would be cool. We then have Kenobi offered spice by a pink-haired character called Teetha Grigg. He asks for information about his daughter. She says he will never find her, and she was someone's daughter once before, giving him some spice and saying a couple of them will make him forget he ever or she ever existed. And these are fun details because she's actually played by the real life daughter of Ewan McGregor.
Oh, really?
So
That's so
this
cool.
dialogue saying, oh, where he's asking for details about a daughter and she's saying she was someone's daughter's once. That is just fantastic. I just think that's so funny. Then they've got Ewan McGregor's real life daughter, Esther Rose McGregor, to actually play this character. I mean, that's a great Easter egg, isn't it?
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I was just thinking on the world building side. It's cool that they do these sort of, you know, I guess like small nuggets of scenes, with Tamara Morrison and this, because it sort of builds out this universe. Like I think I said in the previous episode, the time period we haven't really seen. Like we see bits of it in Rebels, but Rebels is slightly, I think, further towards the original trilogy, and the other media isn't quite there yet either, whether it's Jedi Fallen Order or the Bad Batch, or even maybe I don't know. We didn't really get much in Han Solo, so I don't know. But I think it's cool that they're world building, and I wonder if this is a planet that will show up elsewhere, and maybe it will be shown in the Bad Batch season 2.
Mm,
I think this is a planet that fits in with that show, and imagine how nice it will look in animated form as well. I can see
yeah.
the possibilities for them to do it.
Yeah, no, that would be cool. And it wouldn't be the first time that a character or a storyline has been introduced in another show and then it's put into its own show. For example, you have this Ahsoka, Luke, and Grogu storyline
Mm.
in what's it called? Oh, I've completely forgotten what that show's called. Oh, Tamora Morrison show. Oh, Boba Fett.
Oh,
Because
Boba Fett.
that took me so long to process. It's been a long day, but
And then you
yeah,
had Fennec Shand in the Bad Batch, and that
exactly.
was that she's in all three of them.
Yeah,
Maybe she'll show up here. Who knows?
she talks as well about how much she loves Star Wars and how much she wants to get a role in
She'll
it.
do
So
it.
yeah,
She'll do
100%
it.
should do it.
I love it when these actors have talked in the Star Wars Celebration with us, like Tamara Morrison coming in and doing this, but they're so willing to do it, and you be a part of Star Wars. And you see it in Hayden and Ewan in their interviews. They're so glad to be back.
Yeah, I mean, going off on a complete tangent, I'd love
Tangent.
it if Ashley Eckstein in the Ahsoka series could just get like a cameo, but just like a real, like, only true fans will notice it. She just plays this random character that meets Ahsoka. I mean, that would be such a great cameo.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel bad, and I think I've talked about this before, a very long time ago, that it wasn't Ashley. I still love Rosario Dawson's portrayal, but I think because we've grew up with this character, I'm still going to have to get used to. I'm going to have to get sold on it in the Ahsoka show. I think Book of Boba Fett did sell it to me a bit more though. When you see the way she looks at Luke as well, maybe she'll show up in this. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the
I don't
day,
think so. Yeah.
Disney are just putting cameos in left, right, and center in all their shows. So who knows? We then have a little kid called Jakku approach and take Kenobi to Kumail Nanjiani. My pronunciation of names are so bad. His character, Haja Estri, who is a con artist pretending to be a Jedi to make money. Now, this character has received a bit of mixed opinions. I actually quite like his portrayal.
I feel like since we last regularly did the podcast, I'm so out of touch with the Star Wars fan base. I thought he was great. I didn't realize people didn't like him. I thought he was consistently funny throughout. I no, I thought it was great. I mean, we're not gonna. I don't think we'll see him again.
I don't
Maybe
know.
he'll come back towards the end. I don't think we'll see him for a couple of episodes.
I think though when they announced the main characters for this show, he was one of the big names. So surely it's got to be in more than one episode.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if they can get him into other episodes. I don't know how they're going to do it now that they've separated, and the whole point is that Kenobi's meant to go in hiding, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say it later, but I feel like there's more to him than meets the eye, is what I'm going to say.
You think he's Force sensitive?
I have a feeling there's something about him that's despite the fact he was like pretending not to, or he's pretending to be a Jedi, I have a feeling they might have the plot twist that he is Force sensitive or something like that.
The reason why I don't believe that is because she got the information of where Kenobi was out of him, which would suggest he's weak-minded, although who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting character. Haja tells Kenobi how to access the sewers, and we enter this Breaking Bad looking laboratory where they're cooking up all kinds of spice. We get Kenobi in hand-to-hand combat, which we haven't had before. And I think it's clear to see that he is very rusty because he does take some hits.
I mean, do you remember he would take out Mandalorians in full armor, hand to hand in the Clone Wars, like he was, making a cup of tea?
Yeah,
it was just daily job of Obi-Wan Kenobi to knock out these fully armored Mandalorians. So I think he's completely lost it. I think if and when he meets Vader soon, he is going to get absolutely smoked by Vader. And I think this scene proves that. And I'm sure we'll get further into it, but he doesn't take his lightsaber out. He doesn't even shoot very straight in this episode either. He shoots like a stormtrooper. He couldn't hit a bantha from 5 feet away. It's ridiculous. I think you can see he's sort of well, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but he has lost it. He's clearly been 10 years of idly cutting meat in his little butchering gig in Tatooine.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Stormtroopers do have great aim, as Obi-Wan Kenobi did say in A New Hope. These blast points, too accurate for a stormtrooper.
They're good. They can shoot well if they're not main characters.
Yeah, that's true. Plot armor is the strongest armor, which
plot armor, Beskar.
Yeah, genuinely, it is always the way. But yeah, this Breaking Bad stuff was quite interesting. Yeah. I mean, there were so many. I mean, even like the mask he was wearing looked a lot like the the master Brian Cranston. Yeah, I'm right, Brian Cranston.
Cranston.
Yeah, on Breaking Bad. So there was a lot of similarities there with that looking place. I mean, that was quite a cool aesthetic. We haven't really seen that in live action for Star Wars.
I don't think we've seen much of Spice. I think we see it once in the Book of Boba Fett where they take down the train and he cuts it open and you sort of see it fly everywhere in the sand. But besides that, I don't think we've actually had a very good look at what Spice looks like within the live action. Possibly we've seen it in either Clone Wars or Rebels. Possibly in Clone Wars we saw it, but I don't think we've seen it in live action at all. And I think it's cool we're seeing like the dark side of the universe, to be honest, in this planet, because I don't think we've really ever had that fulfilled properly. Yeah. I think we were promised it a lot with Coruscant, but we never have had it. I think we were promised it with, was it the Star Wars 1313 game? Remember that?
That's a throwback.
Yeah.
That really is. But did we get it in Solo? We definitely had a.
Oh, I forget that. I forget. The thing is with Solo. So this is a bit of a tangent. Is every time I watch it, it's like when you fall asleep and you have a dream and you half remember it. That like you go by your day and you have your lunch, and by the time you've had your lunch, you just remember what like the main premise was. And in terms of Han Solo, you just remember he gets the Millennium Falcon at the end. I don't actually remember what happens in it every time I watch it. It's so forgettable.
Well, going off on another tangent, Kathleen Kennedy came out, and this is nothing to do with this show. Kathleen Kennedy came out and said that the reception to Solo is the reason that they'll never recast a character anymore, and then they'll only do like CGI and stuff over their face. But Ewan McGregor's a recast.
I heard she said it was because they didn't deepfake. There was no deepfake in Solo, so it didn't do well. And I think in the case of Harrison Ford, maybe there is some truth to the fact you cannot recast Harrison Ford. I think Obi-Wan and I guess to a certain extent Anakin are roles you could recast. I think even like I guess we're going to see how well Ahsoka gets recast, and Boba Fett's a recast as well. Bradley D. Baker's a recast. Everyone in the Clone Wars is recast, but then that's animated, so I guess it's a bit different. But certainly in the live action, I think people. I think that I sort of agree with the statement that Solo would have done better if it had Harrison Ford. I don't know whether that's the name or not, but I think she completely ignores the fact the reason why it didn't do well financially, not whether it was a good film, was because of people boycotting it because of The Last Jedi. Yeah. And that's more to do with it. And I think the success of that film speaks for itself. You can just look at like reviews, or you can look at the fact that none of the merchandise for the sequels sold very well. It was just sitting on shelves. It's still sitting on shelves. Yeah. I still see stuff from The Force Awakens on the shelves. Yeah. Remember how long ago that was?
Yeah, no, you're right. It also, another thing, not only were they boycotting because of The Last Jedi, I think it also was released just after either Infinity War or Endgame. So it's like, that's obviously going to be the film that goes under the radar. And
I think it would have been Infinity War. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think it's Infinity War as well. But Donald Glover as well in Solo, I thought, put in a good performance. And he's a recast. But we need to get back to the subject matter at hand. And
is Lando still happening, by the way? Sorry, that's
yes, it is. Quickly. Yes.
Okay, good. Because
I'm told it's happening, but it's like very last on the list of priorities.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The Shams. I actually think, sorry, I'm going to continue. I'm slightly continue. Donald Glover as Lando is a good example of when a recast works.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, we'll get back to the episode. Where were we?
Yeah, hopefully we actually get that. Unlike Rangers of the New Republic, which has been fully scrapped, sad times. But
has it?
I think so. Apparently, right. Back to Kenobi, because that is why we are here. We then have Kenobi tricked and trapped by the pirates, but he uses his spice that he got earlier from Teether to escape. which is his daughter in real life. So that's funny. Her daughter giving him drugs to escape. We then have Reva coming to collect Kenobi, but her and Leia have escaped. And then one of the pirates does meet quite an unfaithful end and does get his head chopped off by the Inquisitors, who a few people are not happy about how they wanted them to be in the show more frequently. I don't know what you think about this, but a lot of people are complaining that they're not in the show enough so far.
No, I think it's fine. I mean, of course, I want to see them in the show more, but we're 2 episodes in. I think we saw this with Boba Fett. People jumped the gun so quickly to dismiss Boba Fett, and people still dismiss it. I think Boba Fett was great. I think maybe the same thing's happening again, where people, they ask for Kenobi, and then when they get it, it's not the Kenobi they wanted. It's not their Kenobi. I think it's great. I think it's cool. There's so many of them as well. I think we'll see more of the Inquisitors as the show goes on, but ultimately, this is more of a almost. I always assumed it was going to be more of a character study of Kenobi rather than I guess a big adventure like Boba Fett was going to be. Although that ended up being a character study to a certain extent as well, where it focuses in on that character. So I think people sort of maybe have missed the point of the show if they think Kenobi's in it too much. I would assume that if the Inquisitors aren't in it enough, they think Kenobi's is in it too much, or that they should have more scenes together. But I mean, I was kind of upset he hasn't ignited his lightsaber yet. But I think that's the point. He's scared to ignite it again. So clearly he can't have this conflict with the Inquisitors and keep that aspect of that reasonable aspect of his personality, where he's severely traumatized by what happened in the clone, towards the end of the Clone Wars with Order 66, and that he doesn't want to use his lightsaber.
Yeah, realistically, I need to stop looking at what the Star Wars fans are complaining about, because they're complaining about everything, because that's just what the fan base does. But we then have Reva confronted by the Grand Inquisitor, fifth brother and new fourth sister. The Grand Inquisitor taunts her and says she came from the gutter, and he says that he will take Kenobi himself. Another little line hinting at maybe where she came from, but realistically, we still don't have too much of a clear picture, even though I did theorize in the last podcast that she was probably in the Jedi Temple. Kenobi probably left her, and that she's going to have a come good arc at the end.
I've seen some stills, from the Order 66 scene. I think there is a youngling that looks like her.
Yes.
And so I think that would confirm that is the case. I mean, is the fourth sister the yellow Twi'lek?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I am hoping we get to see more of this new Inquisitor too, because I think it'd be cool to see a bit more of her when we get the chance to. Hopefully, I'm sure that we'll see more of her, but I hadn't actually. I think when we watched it, I was eating food. And I didn't even notice she was in it, and I saw the Black Series figure pop up on Hasbro, and I thought it was a new Inquisitor, and I completely missed that she was in the show.
Yeah, I've
since rewatched the episode.
Yeah, that literally was toy. That was toy speculation, merchandise speculation. You're like, oh, I've got some merchandise speculation. Look at this figure, and I was like, Michael, she was literally in the episode we watched about an hour ago. That was very funny.
I've kind of missed being able to do toy speculation. I think, Kenobi, there is nothing got announced, nothing got leaked, nothing got shown. And so I went into this knowing absolutely nothing except from what we saw in the trailers. That was all that got announced. So it's actually been difficult getting any information on what's going to happen in the show outside of the show itself, and when people spoil it if you've not watched it the moment it's come out.
Yeah, well, I think that's also a good thing. Even if you're looking at the trailers, we now know majority of the stuff in the trailers was from episode 1 and 2. So we are pretty in the dark going into the next episodes.
Yeah, I think it's good that they're doing it like that. I mean, there's so many. I mean, if you're going to say, if people are going to say, well, we want these like toys now, who really cares? I mean, I don't mind. It's like I don't mind. I think it's good that they're not spoiling the show for people as well. It wouldn't be great if you suddenly found out, oh, here's the Kenobi version of like Ahsoka. Now we know Ahsoka's in it. It's not going to be impactful. I think it worked well with like the Mandalorian, where we didn't really know who was going to be in it either so much. Where there's been cameos, we didn't. I think we knew about Ahsoka, but we didn't know she was going to get an entire episode. And there's other cases. We didn't know Tamara Morrison was in this. That was great.
Yeah,
so I think it's good that things aren't getting like leaked, or I guess toy speculation doesn't really work with the TV shows, which is good. I think with the films, you know what happens in them a bit more. So it's a bit of change. Yeah, the new Inquisitor character looks cool. I think all of the Inquisitors look a lot better. Like they look better than they did in the trailers, especially as we talked about last time. But yeah, they all look really cool. So I'm glad that they actually put Inquisitors in the show. That many, is it 4 we're at now?
Yeah, 4. Yeah,
no,
5.
Sixth brother, Grand Inquisitor. Oh no, it's 4.
4.
I was like, maybe we'll get the one from Fallen Order. I forget if she's like 7th, maybe.
Yeah, potentially that'll be cool. Just like banning loads of Inquisitors into the show. That would be
I'm up for it.
Yeah, why not? Let's just get everyone in.
If they do it, it'd be cool. But yeah, I think I don't. Do you think there's too many Inquisitors in the show, or like too much of them, or too little of them?
No, I think it's completely fine. I mean, at the end of the day, as you said, it's a character study of Obi-Wan Kenobi. You'll look at him from this perspective. It is his own show. And hopefully, unlike Book of Boba Fett, which you say is a character study on Boba Fett, they don't cram 2 Mandalorian episodes in halfway through. But we'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, I'm not too fussed. I do really like the Inquisitors, and I think that they've been all good so far. We then have Reva getting the pirates to transmit a signal to everyone on the planet to hunt Kenobi in an attempt to squeeze him. And just after, we have some great dialogue between Kenobi and Leia. Their chemistry is just so good. She claps back to him saying, he was like, pretend you're my daughter. And she's like, granddaughter, maybe. And her delivery is perfect. And this is like a child actor. And like, she's already, like, for me anyway, one of the highlights of the entire show.
Well, I think, is it Jedi Tales of this coming of age series, the one that's about Ahsoka and Count Dooku or Qui-Gon Jinn?
Yeah, I think it might be Tales of the Jedi. I don't know.
Tales of the Jedi. I think I would be up for her doing a coming of age, like maybe like 4 episode show. I know that sounds so bad. It could, like, maybe if they did one more aimed at kids, that would be really cool. Just her sassing out kids for 4 episodes, I'd watch that. But something I wasn't aware of until you like told me about it was that people don't like Leia, even though because she's too sassy, and I found that really weird because she, like, I know we're gonna talk about it a bit later, I'm sure, but she did remind me of like the way she snaps back of Padme, like when Anakin says, "Do you call this a diplomatic solution?" He says, "No, I call this aggressive negotiations." Like she like replies that so quickly. It kind of like all of the like quick clapbacks reminded me of that.
Yeah. And if you think that Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia, wasn't sassy and wasn't all of these things anyway, you were clearly too busy concentrating on her appearance. Like, genuinely, you're too busy concentrating on anything else, because she is giving a perfect representation of what I could imagine even a Carrie Fisher performance as a child Leia would be, because it's just sassy, it's quick, it's just really good. I think she's a massive positive of the show, and the fact that people don't like her, again, Star Wars fandom is what it is.
I mean, I think it would have been a great disservice to Carrie Fisher if Leia wasn't portrayed like this, like sassy, witty,
Yeah,
quick to come back character. I think it would have been a complete betrayal of Carrie Fisher's performance in the original trilogy, and
yeah.
I guess the sequels as well.
Yeah, 100%. We then have Leia trying to escape Kenobi on the rooftops after she finds out that she was bait in order to try and capture Kenobi. Shots are fired as Kenobi reveals himself to chase Leia on the rooftops. We have Reva spotting this and does 100 backflips in the chase scene. And now, this is a bit of criticism I can understand. Again, it's not even her character's fault. This is just what the director has said. But Star Wars, I love it. It's corny. They do things. This was a bit too extra for me. You can just jump. You don't need to do like a double backflip over a rooftop.
Yeah, it was a bit excessive, but it's not her fault. And again, I think, as you said, it's not to do with the actress. It's to do with the direction,
Yeah.
the people who are editing it. It's to do with the background team of people who are producing it. And to be honest, Star Wars is always corny anyway. So I think to certain I thought it was a bit. I thought it was way too much. But honestly, it's Star Wars is always a bit weird. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about last episode. The thing we would rather have seen is her spin her lightsaber and fly across. That's what we wanted. That's why we're criticizing it, because that's what we want.
Oh, it is 100%. That's what we'll.
We actually do.
Could you imagine Kenobi and Leia just running, and then in the background just see this spinning lightsaber, which is just holding on? That would be the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, I want to see it, and I think we need to see it. I think the world would be a better place with it. I think there would be a lot more angry Star Wars fans, which honestly at this point I'm also up for.
Yeah, that was, I mean, as much as these backflips were very extra, nothing, and I mean nothing, will top in Book of Boba Fett, the half mechanical guy who is facing these two enemies and then does this spin and then on the ground shoots them both. And it is genuinely, that will never be top for me. There's no sense in it. And I know, that just made me laugh.
I think the Book of Boba Fett takes a lot of inspiration from very 70s westerns, and that's why. And I mean, I think that's why I love that show. But anyways, enough of.
Yeah, we will have a podcast discussing our thoughts on it, because I feel like they're quite mixed on one side and then the other likes it a lot more. So we will definitely have a discussion about that. We definitely will. We then have Leia jumping off the roof, and after a few performance issues, he does use the Force to land her safely. The first time he's used his Jedi powers, especially in public as well, revealing himself. And yeah, I mean, again, it's reinforcing just how rusty it is. He hasn't used the Force in 10 years. He doesn't use it in his everyday life because it might attract attention to him. So again, it was quite a nice detail that he didn't just like catch her immediately. It was nice that he had to like really like go deep behind inside himself in order to like catch her, because you are at the beginning like he's going to catch her, right? Because at the first she's still dropping and you're like but yeah, in the end she lives, but there is a bit of jeopardy there.
I think it I said about it earlier. I think he's going to get completely smoked by Vader. We've got to remember that, like in Rebels, which is probably the closest time period wise, Ahsoka, who only really spends a year not using the Force, as far as I can tell from the books, and even then, she's sort of aware if she doesn't keep in contact with the Force, she won't have it. She won't be able to use it anymore, and she barely holds her own against Vader in Rebels. And honestly, I would say Ahsoka is far more powerful than Obi-Wan at this point.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that's fair.
I mean, I won't. I'm not talking about overall, but if we're talking about a comparison of Rebels Ahsoka versus current Kenobi, I think we can see there's a complete disparity. I'm sure he'll get back into his ways, but it's going to take him some time to be full Obi-Wan Kenobi instead of uh, meat cutting Ben Kenobi. And like you said, that I think it was really cool that they show how much of a struggle it was for him. I think also there's a certain degree of resistance to use the Force as well, and I
Mm.
think maybe it's sort of like you sort of see it with like Ahsoka or Cal Kestis, where because they've hidden their abilities for so long, they're
Mm.
sort of fearful of using the Force because they know that it will catch them out. Like the Inquisitors said that most of the Jedi that get hunted sort of hunt themselves in a way because they know what the Jedi are like and they all behave in a almost in a pattern.
Yeah, it is almost you have these Jedi who are brought up on these principles, and they're always just going to use these principles. But I guess Kenobi is the exception because he understands the stakes. But you have these Jedi's like the former Jedi in the first episode. I think his name is Nari. Just he helped out people. He still did that, and at the end, that cost him his life. But yeah, Kenobi will most likely get absolutely smoked by Vader. Like
Mm.
there really shouldn't be a competition because Vader's in a very powerful state currently. And unless he gets emotion, like unless emotion clouds his judgment, then yeah, it should be a Vader win, or at least it's not going to be him killing him, is it? Because of course he survives, but
No,
it will
Kenobi will
be
probably run away or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, most likely. We then have Haja Estri returning, killing a bounty hunter who has a gun pointed at Kenobi and Leia. What a hero. He gives them an escape route if they can get to a cargo hold. He says he will take them to a place where there are others like him, I guess indicating where the series might be going, might meet other Jedi that run away potentially. And he then tries to stall but is absolutely hopeless as Reva just goes inside his mind. But that was quite a funny scene. Him just being like, I am the Jedi that you've been looking for. You found me. How much am I going to cost? Like that was very funny. But I mean, two things here. First of all, where is this gonna? I mean, is this a hint at where it's gonna go? He's saying that he's gonna take the ship, will take them to a place where there's others like him. And secondly, Hadja, do you trust him?
I think we could safely say we trust him because otherwise he would have just picked up the bounty. I'm sorry if he cares about the money, he would have got the money.
Mhm.
Like there's no one who's going to pay him more for a Jedi than either other Jedi, or the Inquisitors. So I think the issue of trust shouldn't be something we have to worry about too much. And unless I mean, do you think we can trust him?
I'm still not 100% on him. I still think there's something a bit wrong, but we'll see. I'm pretty convinced by him. I'd say I'm like 75% convinced by him. But there's a part of me that wonders, is he gonna, or is something gonna happen? Is he? I don't even have a theory currently for what he could potentially could be, but I'm still not 100% sold on him. I'm still not
I mean,
100%.
I'm not sure who he gets set. Let's assume I'm not sure if he actually has control of the ship, but I think he does based on the fact he'd say, I'll take you somewhere. So, I mean, I can't think of anyone who'd buy both Leia and Obi-Wan for more than the Empire be willing to pay. Maybe
Mm.
there'd be some like syndicate that want him, but they'd have to get him to fight for them, maybe. I can only see that as being one option, and I don't think so. I guess we'll see what happens. The thing I was
Mm.
trying to figure out though is, who do you think these others like Kenobi are? Assuming there are others like Kenobi, who do you think is in the runnings of possibility?
Ahsoka.
I mean,
Maybe. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. But if we could get him, oh, actually, no, I do because it's set at the same time. Cal Kestis.
I think we can discount Ahsoka because of Rebels, because I think she learns. She thinks Obi-Wan is dead that whole show,
Mm.
and she's pretty convinced there aren't any other Jedi, which means I think she's isolated from other Jedi. So I think even if she showed up, she would not meet Kenobi in this.
Yeah. But Cal
And she'd
Kestis.
recognize him. Cal Kestis is a reasonable one. I guess it depends on what they want to do with Jedi Fallen Order too, because I think Fallen Order is set maybe like 3-4 years before this, something like that. I think there's a few year gap. It's sorry, I've got so bad at remembering when stuff's meant to be set. I should get a timeline and have it like right next to me all the time. So I'm like, yeah, that's when it is. But
Yeah.
I think Ahsoka's unlikely because I'm pretty sure she said she was surprised to know that Kenobi was alive, but I don't know whether that was because she doesn't know about Anakin being alive, which means that she doesn't know about the child. I don't think she would know about the child either, like Luke and Leia. So I don't know why she would know about Kenobi. She would know Kenobi's alive and then lie about him being alive.
Well,
I don't know.
another shout. I mean, not going to happen, but he's just been revealed in the Bad Batch trailer. We get Gunji back. I mean, come on, that would be great. That would be amazing.
I think it'd be nice. I think that would be cool. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in the Bad Batch. Whether he's going to have Inquisitors. What are we going to have Inquisitors yet? Have we got Inquisitors yet? I guess we're going to see.
Yeah, no idea.
I mean, I guess the other thing is, do you think we'll get Ahsoka in the Bad Batch because that is the right time period, probably, or we're getting there?
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to cram a lot of people into a lot of different shows. So potentially, we'll have to see. Andor's another one who I think makes sense in Bad Batch. Not that we're talking about Bad Batch presently, but I think
and that's got clones in it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Which means it's set more closely to that. God, they're really filling out this into Clone Wars Empire period quite nicely, which I'm really glad about because I think it's one of the time periods we both of us at least have wanted very much, because we don't need this gap between the original trilogy and the sequels isn't really filling that gap so much as it is being used as a sandbox for entertainment. I feel more so than a narrative tool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that getting these shows in this period is great, but I would just love it if they like Acolyte. I just can't wait for because it's different. I'm looking forward to. They just need to put some shows in that sequel era just to redeem it. Like just have something in that era to redeem it because some of the characters would come back.
Yeah, I don't know whether they would set something after I guess you mean after the sequels. Yeah. I don't know what they could do that people would want to see. Maybe like another Lando show. Get you say Star Wars. Billy D. Williams will come if you ask him.
Get Wedge Antilles back as well.
Well, they have a little bromance.
Yeah. Oh, so they were in the same ship in the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh God, they were, weren't they?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go, Disney. Another Michael and Sam pitch for you to buy off us. All you have to do is hire us. I think the emails are at the bottom of the description.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
Yeah, get us an email. I mean, this has been an unbelievable waffle about something that's not relevant to the show. So let's get back to the show. We then have Kenobi and Leia getting to the cargo hold, but Reva enters. Leia waits on the ship as Kenobi hides with Reva taunting him. She says Anakin is alive through Darth Vader. And the big question that came from this that a lot of people ask is, how does she know this? As it's very well known that Darth Vader killed pretty much anyone who knew that he was Anakin. So how does she have this information?
I think that we're going to go with a theory that she was at the Jedi Temple, correct? Probably.
Yes, that's
she was at the Jedi Temple. If she was at the Jedi Temple, she did see the 501st, which maybe we assume it's the flashback. She's one of the characters in the flashback with the kids from episode 1. Maybe she saw him killing the other younglings, and
Yeah.
she was spared for some reason, or otherwise escaped, but she had the knowledge of the fact that Anakin is a Sith Lord, or would be assumed to be a Sith Lord, based on the fact that he killed the Jedi at the temple, and maybe she hears bits and pieces, possibly. And obviously, when Darth Vader's there, she either clues the pieces together, or she's for some reason able to survive knowing. I think more so she may have just picked out the pieces together.
Yeah,
I think there
no,
was footage. There's footage of in the security room that he got the name Darth Vader right from Palpatine, which means that if
yes,
she's in the temple at the right time, which she is, to access the film, which she is, she could well learn his Sith name, that he's Darth Vader, and assuming she escapes and then is found by the Inquisitors, that would explain why she knows Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker.
yeah. I mean,
But
it's great to speculate because I currently don't even have a theory. I mean, I think that sounds pretty plausible, but I currently I'm not sure. A lot of people are angry because they're like, "How does she know?" But if you watch like the whole 6 episodes, you'll probably find out how she knows. So be patient. There's been 2 episodes. I don't know why I'm annoyed, but I'm just really annoyed with the Star Wars
I think
fan base today.
I think it's because it's not like with the Bad Batch where people are complaining about the Bad Batch 5, 6 episodes in, although I felt that was unfair too, to a
Mm,
certain extent. But
mm.
we're talking about basically a project that was going to originally be a film that has now come out as a TV show, which I'm very glad about. It means more content for us to watch. And I don't know. It's just unfair to judge something a third of the way through when you've only had what have we had, maybe an hour and a half,
Yeah, I mean,
some
yeah,
maybe a
like
bit
around that.
less,
Yeah,
but maybe a bit less. That and it's kind of unfair to judge what's going on. I mean, I know we're doing speculation and analysis of the episode, but we're now analyzing each episode rather than the show as a whole. I think to do the show as a whole, we need to. Where are they going to go in the next episode? I don't know.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
know. Other people don't know. We don't know how this is going to end. We know he's going to fight Darth Vader. We
Mm,
know there's going to be Inquisitors in the show because we've seen them. We know Kenobi's in it. We know Leia's in it. We know Bail's in it. Besides that, we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, and I
and
think
that's the good thing. That's the good
yeah,
thing. We have a mystery. We don't know where it's going to go, and I think that's a massive positive of the show that it's not revealed its trump card in the trailer. It hasn't
mm,
given it away like immediately. Like you don't show your cards at poker immediately. You don't want to give it away. You've got to keep them hidden. You've got to keep your cards in your hand. So yeah, I just think that it's interesting to speculate, but speculation's good, and I don't know how she knows, but I'm looking forward to find out. But we then have Reva so close to finding Kenobi. It always is that, isn't it? In films, it's always like just one box away, one like stone's throw away. But then the Grand Inquisitor interrupts her. She stabs him. That sparks a bit of confusion. He's not dead, is he?
no, he's alive because he's going to make it to Rebels, and we know. I'm pretty sure we know that this is set before. Well, no, this is set before Rebels. Of course, it is.
Yes, definitely
He
is.
dies in Rebels.
Yes.
I mean, I think people like me. Like the thing is, she does stab him. Honestly, you'd think he's dead, but he's clearly he doesn't die. But I think it's quite good for her character because I think it's nice having this sort of, I guess, up and coming character who is meant to be a main character, and it's not one of these like what was their fourth sister you said, the yellow tweet,
Yeah.
like she's going to be a side character more so, but Reva's meant to be a main character of the show, and as is the Grand Inquisitor, whereas the sixth brother and the fourth sister are meant to be further, I think, meant to be far further in the background. And I think establishing a character by having them stab a pre-established one who we know won't die, but certainly the audacity to do it
The shock
is
factor.
the shock factor was good. I thought it was great. Like I think we were talking about it, and neither of us could believe she went up and she like was gonna let him pass, and she just goes into him, and like she's not very far apart from him. She's maybe like like you could put a ruler in between her and him, and that's probably it. And then she just stabs him, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. But yeah, he can't be dead. He's in Rebels. There's no plausible way he's dead. But yeah, I think it's great for her character. We then finish on Obi-Wan and Leia escaping, and the episode ends with Vader breathing in a Bacta tank, or Anakin, I should say, because he's not in the armor. What an end to the episode. That has set up the series perfectly.
Right, I've got a couple of questions for you. The first one is, we're only 2 episodes in, so this is purely speculation. But do you think they're going to do a Clone Wars flashback or a scene in Revenge of the Sith flashback we haven't seen? So something that's not already being filmed, so a new scene. Or do you think they're going to very much stick with the present, I guess, for at least their relationship? Because I think some sort of flashback would be quite nice. I don't think it's necessary, because I think every single person has watched at least the prequels, if not also quite a bit of the Clone Wars, or all of it. But I don't know. Do you think that's something that's necessary, or would be nice at least?
I think it will happen, and my thinking behind this is, I mean, first of all, you had a book of Boba Fett, you had about 300 flashbacks to different points, but they, of course, were very important to the show. But the reason I think that will happen is bringing Hayden Christensen back. If you're just going to have him in the suit the whole time, it's not like that big a deal. But it's been brought up so much that I have a feeling we will see him out of armor and in a Clone Wars flashback at some point. I definitely think that there'll be, in my opinion, 1 or 2 more flashbacks from that era, from it'll either be Order 66, it'll be Clone Wars era. And yeah, so I definitely think that they will probably do that.
Because I think it would be good if they do. I don't think it's necessary, but I think certainly it would establish a bit more of their relationship. So at least the stakes are very much in both of, at least in Obi-Wan's mind, of their relationship. As he I think he regrets the fact that he let Anakin turn to the dark side. I think setting that up would be good. I don't think flashbacks are necessary to do that, but I think, like you said, it'd be kind of a shame if they don't use Hayden besides in the suit, or I believe he's used in the Bacta tank, but honestly, you can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't exactly distinctly tell it's him. But yeah, I think that flashbacks will happen. But we've come to the end of the episode. Michael, episode 2, Kenobi, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was another brilliant episode, and I think it's getting there. I think the first was slightly slow because it's establishing, so it wasn't really the full meat of the show. But I think we've got to the meat of the show now. Now we've gone off Tatooine and we've explored a new planet, and I think we're heading to another one now. Maybe a new planet, maybe a planet we've seen. Maybe it'd be cool to see like Obadiah from Bad Batch in a live action. But there's so many planets that they could go to. I guess we'll see. Let's just hope it's not Tatooine again.
Yeah, I think that would drive a lot of people quite mad. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode, continues the story along well, and I'm very much looking forward to what the next episode brings. Next episode being episode 3 out of 6. So the halfway episodes, we will be halfway in the series after episode 3. And we will be breaking down that episode when it comes out as well. But that wraps up our podcast discussing Kenobi episode 2, breaking down Easter eggs, talking about lots of stuff that wasn't to do with Kenobi. I think it's fair to say.
And one final thought. before we go is maybe it'll be Yoda and he'll go to Dagobah.
And we're going to leave you with that. That's how we're going to leave you. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the episode, any theories you might have. Remember that our socials are in the link down below. So to stay up to date, follow them. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.